Support for this podcast comes from St. Alphonsus Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Clinics, with physicians, physical therapists, and trainers who treat sports and performance-related injuries, with locations across the valley. More information on services and locations at stalphonsus.org/stay active.
Public media is under immediate threat. I'm General Manager Tom Michael from Boise State Public Radio. In the coming days, the U.S. Senate is expected to vote on a rescission request from the White House, which wants to claw back funds that were already approved by Congress. This station is one of hundreds across the country that would lose out. You can let your U.S. Senator know directly that you value funding for public radio. Or visit protectmypublicmedia.org.
Good morning, it's The Connector for Friday, July 11th. I'm Troy Oppie. Thanks for listening. This morning, the State Attorney General is celebrating a Supreme Court ruling that affirms his ability to investigate nonprofits in Idaho for potential fraud. Boise State Athletics not very happy that the Mountain West is admitting Grand Canyon University starting this year, and the Boise School District is gearing up for a fight over the Everyone is Welcome Here posters in Idaho schools. Those stories and lots more over our next 10 minutes or so, right now on The Connector. Idaho Daily News from Boise State Public Radio. We start this morning at the state Supreme Court, where justices yesterday unanimously ruled that Attorney General Raul Labrador can lawfully subpoena dozens of nonprofits while investigating possible fraud. Our James Dawson has this story.
State lawmakers in 2021 and 2022 directed $72 million of federal COVID relief funds to offset learning loss and boost mental health support for students ages 5 through 13. Attorney General Labrador's office said it received reports that some of the money was being used for younger children and infants and issued subpoenas to at least 34 grant recipients in 2023, who eventually sued to stop them. Thursday's Supreme Court opinion found Labrador had the authority under Idaho law to investigate these possible civil crimes, partially reversing a lower court ruling blocking some subpoenas. The unanimous decision from Justice Gregory Mueller stressed the court did not rule whether any nonprofit illegally used these funds. In a statement, Labrador said, quote, "Those who have worked with us understand that our goal is not to punish grant recipients, but to ensure taxpayer funds were used according to state law." Proceedings now return to the district court level. James Dawson, Boise State Public Radio News.
Attorney General Raul Labrador has said that the Everyone is Welcome Here posters do not belong in Idaho schools. The Boise School District is challenging that assertion. Boise Superintendent Lisa Roberts wrote in a public statement Thursday, the district has sent a memo to its teachers and staff indicating they will be supported in displaying the Everyone is Welcome Here posters. Those were first thrust into the public spotlight earlier this year when the West Ada School District told teacher Sarah Anama she could not display the poster after the end of the previous school year. Anama has since resigned and was hired to teach in the Boise School District. Those posters, the Boise District says, align with state and federal laws barring discrimination based on sex, gender, race, ethnicity, or religion. A new state law bans political, religious, or ideological flags or banners in schools. It was passed this year. The district says that law does block pride flags from being displayed, but Roberts and Boise School Board of Trustees Chair Dave Wagers, who signed the letter Thursday, say welcoming everyone to Boise schools isn't ideological, it's the law. Attorney General Raul Labrador's office did not immediately respond to a request for comment. A McCall contractor and the State Association of Contractors has asked the Attorney General to investigate Valley County over a bidding process for the remodeling of the Valley County Courthouse Annex. The McCall Star News reports Dalrymple Construction and the Idaho Association of General Contractors say Valley County illegally awarded that job to a company that didn't initially bid for it, a company that's run by a friend of Commissioner Neil Thompson. Dalrymple's bid of $450,000 for the job was rejected by commissioners. Thompson then says he told Pacific West Construction they could have the job for anything under $250,000. The company accepted at that amount. The state does not require projects under $250,000 to go through the formal bidding process. The bid was approved by a 2-to-1 vote, including yeses from Thompson and Chair Sherry Maupin, who stated concern over the process despite her yes vote. Commissioner Caitlin Caldwell voted no because of the process. The AG's office has not said if it will investigate. The Radiation Exposure Compensation Act has provided compensation for people exposed to nuclear testing. It has now been expanded to include several more states in our region, including Idaho. Here's the Mountain West News Bureau's Yvette Fernandez with more.
The federal program, known as RECA, expired last year amid cost-cutting, but it got a second life in President Trump's big budget bill, reauthorized through 2028. RECA helps people who were exposed to radiation from testing conducted in Nevada, New Mexico, and Guam, and those who live downwind of testing sites. Tona Henderson with the Idaho Downwinders Association was happy to see the program expanded to include her state, but says it still has flaws.
They won't pay for urinary tract cancer, but they will for bladder cancer. Prostate cancer is huge in all of these downwind communities, and it's not included.
The program expanded to include downwinders covering all of New Mexico, Utah, Idaho, and portions of Arizona. Coverage in Nevada remains the same. There's also expanded coverage for some uranium workers. The program pays a $100,000 compensation for people with qualifying cancers. For the Mountain West News Bureau, I'm Yvette Fernandez.
The new traffic signal at Highway 55 and Banks Lowman Road already had one major holiday in operation. It was active for Memorial Day weekend, but July 4th is typically the busiest travel weekend of the summer.
The signal itself, it performed as we'd expect, actually probably even a little bit better than we expected.
That's ITD Traffic Director Justin Price. He says feedback on the sensor-controlled signal so far has been positive.
People are saying it's working well. They're not having issues. They understand what's happening when they get to the signal, and they're able to plan for it, and it's consistent. So it's been overall very positive.
Northbound delays on Highway 55 to start the weekend were fairly new with the signal, but that's part of the give and take of a fully controlled intersection, Price says. ITD collects data manually each week. They're working on getting the remote location networked in, and they continue to monitor traffic data for opportunities to make improvements. Drivers should note that seal coating on Highway 55 between Horseshoe Bend and Banks began this week. Lane closures and delays in both directions should be expected Monday through early afternoon Fridays through the rest of the summer. Boise State Athletics is not happy with the Mountain West Conference's decision to admit Grand Canyon University a year sooner than planned. The conference this week announced GCU would join the Mountain West, competing in non-football sports starting this fall. Bronco Nation News reports Boise State says this creates a scheduling and cost problem, and that the 5 schools leaving the conference next year, quote, were not consulted or permitted to vote on the early invitation to GCU. They plan to address the issue as part of the ongoing mediation over exit fees and penalties between the Mountain West, the Pac-12, and the 5 schools leaving the Mountain West to join the Pac-12 next year. Grand Canyon competes in volleyball and women's soccer, among other fall sports that have already been scheduled for the season. The Mountain West has not said how it plans to work GCU into those already existing schedules. That's your connector for this Friday. Thanks for listening. Our news director is Sasha Woodruff. Our general manager is Tom Michael. Our digital strategy manager is Lacey Daly. I'm Troy Oppie. I'll be with you over the next several weeks. James Dawson will be here as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That helps other people find this podcast too. Hope you have a wonderful weekend.
These days, there's so much news, it can be hard to keep up with what it all means for you, your family, and your community. The Consider This podcast from NPR features our award-winning journalism. 6 days a week, we bring you a deep dive on a news story and provide the context and analysis that helps you make sense of the news. We get behind the headlines. We get to the truth. Listen to the Consider This podcast from NPR.